Zombie companies are starting to fall. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because I'd like to look at a few articles from Credit to Watch discussing the increase in administration and insolvencies, where companies are starting to tip over, zombie companies. Now, at the moment, the rules have been changed, because this is what our government does. They change the rules. You can trade while insolvent until the end of the year. Now, trading while insolvent, I'll give you an example. So I'm in a small business person and I send an invoice to someone and they don't pay me. I try to communicate to them. They say, oh no, yeah, we'll get to it. And they string you on for a while. After a while, you start to realize they're just yanking your chain. So you have a mechanism where you can, go them through ASIC processes and say, look, they're trading while insolvent. They're trading, taking on credit. They're taking on liability from you, knowing that they can't pay it off in time. As a company, if you're dealing with another company, every year you need to sign a little declaration and send it to ASIC. Actually, my fees are probably coming to you soon too, where you say, yep, we are complete trading solvently, we're not going to do the dodge, we're all good. Now, if someone doesn't comply with that, you can go them. And as a director, they can be personally liable for that, which is great. Particularly when you're chasing someone and you want to send the sheriff after them. Now, the issue with this trading while insolvent is they've changed all the rules. So they can just wait 6 months to pay you. You can't go them for certain amounts. It is concerning. It is really worrying, particularly to anyone who's been in business. Now, back in November of last year, we were looking at articles coming out of the ABC where liquidators were worried about a sudden influx in business insolvency. They were taking on more people. And then we heard in the middle of this year, because of all of the government interventions, because of the JobKeeper, for one, was allowing them to keep running. And the fact that they had all these trading while insolvent, get out of jail free cards, essentially, insolvencies were down. Insolvencies were down about 60%. So the liquidators were getting in trouble. If we have a look here, you can see this is the ASIC, and these are published notices. And you can see all of the businesses that are in liquidation and just the process of going through that, of administration. They're appointing an administrator. They're going to just liquidate the business. They're having meetings to figure out what to do. They're getting people to go through all of the assets of the business, trying to figure out what happens. Let us know in the comments if you've been through this process. I know there'll be a lot of tradies there that have probably worked for builders that have gone bust and have had to go through this to try and get some of the money back that you're owed. You may only get cents in the dollar, everyone. That's the biggest fear. For me, as an architect, my costs are not as bad as others. Sure, I've got to pay staff and overheads. That's one of the reasons why I've moved my office back home here. But, I've got software rental and things like that and electricity. But the thing is, for a subbie, a tradie on a development project, their costs are literally fixed into that building. And you can't really go back there and tear it out, although I know some of them would love to do it, and I'm sure some of them do. So it can be quite frustrating if you've fronted up all this money. So let's have a look at this article, or this blog post, from Credit to Watch. Early signs of stabilization in the Australian economy. Okay, so, what does this mean? Well, businesses are starting to go into administration because we've already seen a reduction in JobKeeper, everyone. We've seen a reduction in JobKeeper, so costs are being pushed onto businesses. How many of these zombie businesses have just been kicking the can down the road, doing the best for their staff? Because as an employer, you generally like your staff, at least the ones you keep around. Maybe they're going, okay, they pulled them aside going, when JobKeeper ends, we're shutting down. We're going to keep going to help you out. I bet you there'll be a few. So, and that's probably the wrong thing to do. Maybe they've got to just make that hard decision, which is tough. So, administrators and defaults on the rise in the Credit to Watch Business Risk Review for September 2020. Following the first round of JobKeeper cuts and the most significant federal budget since WW2, Creditor Watch's business risk review for September reveals signs of stabilization in the Australian business sector. According to our latest data, but can they really say it's stabilizing until all of JobKeeper has been removed? That's the real question. According to our latest data, in comparison to August 2020, the number of businesses entering into administration rose for the first time since June, up 11% in September, while the number of business defaults increased by 23% in September, the first increase recorded since May. So here we have it. Just a reduction in JobKeeper, and administrations are up 11%, defaults are up 23%. That's over a fifth, everyone. The slight rebound in business defaults and slight. A fifth is slight, 20% is slight, I guess. The slight rebound in business default and administration figures suggests that some of the so-called zombie businesses, those reliant on government support for survival, are waking up to the reality of their situation and shutting up shop. Overall, though, defaults and administrations have shown a long-term decline. However, there was significant variance in external administration numbers between the states. Victoria recorded a 23.8% increase in business administrations, following a 49.3% decrease in August. I mean, look at that drop, everyone. Look at that drop. That's not natural. That is not natural. None of what we're seeing here is natural. Queensland recorded a 24.1% increase in business administrations, following a decrease of 25.4% in August. So did everyone get their hopes up in August? New South Wales recorded a 1.6% decrease in business administrations, following a 34.3% decrease in August. So New South Wales is still going down. Credit inquiries on the Creditor Watch platform, a live indicator of business activity, dropped 6% in September compared to August, after 4 months of positive increases. However, inquiries were higher on average over the past 4 months compared to the previous 8, signifying that businesses are trying to remain active, and also that they're probably more concerned about the credit ratings of the people they're essentially giving money to, giving lines of credit to. That's what you do as a business owner. It's always the fun part of sending out the invoices, seeing how long you'll get paid. You can put all these, time frames and thingamabobs on it, and that just shows you the power imbalance between some businesses. Thoughts from the CEO, Patrick Coughlan. Seeing businesses enter into administration is never something you want to celebrate. However, September's increase in default and administration rates does indicate that some businesses, which have been relying on government support, are starting to accept the reality of their situation and are taking steps to settle with their creditors. What we don't want to see is businesses that are doomed to fail continuing to operate and taking healthy companies down with them. That's the big risk. He's right there. He is definitely that 100%. Patty's got it. Healthy businesses. Because here's the thing. With these rules, they can just put off paying you for 6 months. Everyone. So I mean, if you owed $100,000, $150,000, you put it all into a project. And that could be enough to tip someone over if you need it to pay your staff and your costs, because those expenses don't disappear during that period. I've been in situations like that where businesses have just taken months to pay, and I had to go up the chain to get paid. It's not something. It doesn't bode well in a relationship if someone's just holding off on paying you, and it's always the employees that have never actually worked for themselves. I'm just thinking about dodgy PMs. The long-term trend is that zombie companies will continue to survive on government support, and so the next 6 months are crucial in determining what position we start our economic recovery from. So payment times fall, highlighting business resilience. Wow, really? Payment times fall? I like this. This is interesting. Because I only know the construction sector, guys. I know payment times as being a nightmare. Let's have a look at what some of these industries get. Considered to be the key indicator of business cash flow, average payment times were down 10% across industries in September, with 11 to 19 industry groups recording a decrease in the number of days it took to pay bills. The figure remains high, however, up 222% year-on-year average. Well, there you go. 222% increase in payment times. I need a shot of coffee with that one. So, information, media, and telecommunications. Days overdue in September, 14 days. Change from August, so it's down 30 days. Wow, look at that change. 30 a month down. Year-on-year average, up 75%. So only 14 days late on people paying you. And that ain't too bad. That just shows you how damaged I've been in the construction sector. Where's the 90 days? Where's the 120 days? Pah, soft 14 days. Come on, that's how long it takes people to open the bloody email or the invoice download. Soft IT guys. Rental, hiring, and real estate services. Days overdue 35 days, down 24 days. Up 191.6%. Look at that, everyone. Look at that. That's up 100. That is gonna be doing it tough in that sector. Wow. And real estate, I mean, it's a mixed bag depending on where you are in the country, how it's going. Public administration and safety, 17 days, down 15, only up 21. Not as exciting as the other. Professional, scientific, and technical services, 32 days past due, down 12, up 146%. Accommodation and food services, 41 days. There you go. Look at that. Down 7 days, up 73%. And retail, 30 days, so a month past due. So if you give someone a month, it's another 30 days on top of that. Or if you give them, some people want like 90-day periods. It's down 6 days, up 172.7%. Oh, wow. So the most impacted industries, financial and insurance services, days overdue 62 days. It's up 520%, everyone. Healthcare and social assistance, 35 days, up 288. Manufacturing, 33 days, up 175. Administrative and support services, 82 days. 82 days overdue. Up 331%. Wow. 82 days past due. That's the thing. Imagine if your pay was 82 days past due, guys. That can get very stressful. It can get very, very stressful being in a business like that. I've been in that situation. We've been in that where you've got to scrape by, and it's really frustrating. You've got, multi-millionaire businesses, big brands that you're doing, and they're just dragging their feet. And you wonder if they do it intentionally to not in our case, but you know the story where the developers or the builders will just drag it out, not pay, so the little guy goes under and they'll try and avoid having to pay anything. There's some terrible stories out there, guys. Wholesale trade, 35 days overdue, up 218%. I mean, none of this looks good. Okay, I'm sure they're putting a positive spin on it. Maybe they've just been looking at it so much that it's been so bad in the past. So, an overview from Harley Dale, chief economist. For a signal of how Australian businesses are faring, payment times provide a glaring picture of how tough the environment is, especially when juxtaposed against 2019. Yeah, exactly. I need another shot of coffee. 82 days. Oh. This is why when you're going in business, you need to have FU money. You need to have significant additional reserves. So you can just say, no, I'm not taking that job. It's okay. I can give you an extension. That's what you need. That's what Scott Adam talks about. It's what Arnold Schwarzenegger had. He was already a millionaire before he even got into acting, so he could turn down the dodgy roles. That's the trick. It's not really a trick, but you know what I mean. Because, look at this. 330% 8%. 82 days. I mean, the construction boys are watching this going, 82 days? That'd be great. Not 120, wow. And I'm only half joking there, guys. So, it's encouraging to see big declines in many sectors such as IT and telecommunications and real estate, because when companies get paid quicker, it puts liquidity back into the economy, enabling firms to plan, invest, and grow. See, the thing is, businesses will hold off on paying their bills just as a cheap source of finance. It'll cost them nothing, rather than borrowing money from the bank or getting a cash advance or doing whatever they have to do to get money. They'll just hold off on paying that bill. They'll pay it late. And that's a sign maybe they're paying late because the person they've invoiced is paying them late. So it just trickles through. The velocity of money through the economy just chugs. However, payment times still remain too high, and some sectors are being particularly stubborn, such as the financial services and insurance sector, which jumped up in September, and the transport, postal, and warehousing sector, which remain at a staggering 90 days. As government support is rescinded, which way this matrix tracks will be crucial in determining how well Australian firms fare in the new economic world. Oh, well, yeah, you're right there, mate. Right there. So the average number of days payment overdue, and there you go. Look at that. Look at that there. Transport and postal. We'll zoom in if we can see that. I mean, that's concerning. You know what? I'm gonna incorporate this into my slide deck because it's definitely something important. So comparing quarter 3 to quarter 2, 2020. The end of the year is approaching as we come to the end of another quarter. Take a look at how the pandemic has impacted the numbers in September. So court actions nationwide, there's a 4.95% decrease. Payment defaults nationwide, it's a 24.25% decrease. And external administrations nationwide, it's a 19.29% decrease. So that's good. That's good. We'll have to see how it goes in the next quarter, everyone. But some of these increases, guys, these time frames, wow. What do you all think, everyone? So we can see, well, the reign of the zombie companies is beginning to come to an end. What do you all think? Have you dealt with any businesses that are getting in trouble? Have you had any businesses that you're working with that you're extending credit to that just aren't paying? Or you're starting to get worried? What strategies are you putting in place? Are you going to websites like Creditor Watch just to search and get an understanding of these businesses? Because that's the thing. You need to have processes in place to check out these other companies that you're doing business with, because you're providing credit with them. Are you noticing fees are getting a bit lower, or it's getting a bit more competitive on those tenders? Or are you just flat out and can't keep up? It's such a mixed bag at the moment, depending on who you talk to. Some people are just flat out powering ahead, and other sectors, well, it feels like, it's getting quite competitive. We'll have to see. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. Simply interacting with the channel, commenting, sharing the content helps the channel grow. You can support us financially via joining the channel on YouTube or Patreon, using any of our affiliate links you find below, from Independent Reserve, Kucoin, Amazon, or eBay. You can buy our merch down from Teespring. Right now we have the RBA coffee mug. I should make a few more, and I'll get to it. Particularly with the new recolored logo. And finally, we have pocket squares you can see behind me right there. You can support us via Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and watch out for those zombie companies.